lecture room of London Science Museum, members of the Royal Air Force and Royal Observer Corps are assembling for the second annual aircraft recognition contest. Preliminary heats held over the 2 or 3 months before have eliminated all but these 52 teams. Today's trial will decide the winner. And at this year's contest, the winning team will carry off a special trophy presented by Sir Frederick Handley Page, a mounted silver model of his firm's 4-engined bomber, the Victor. This year, the trophy goes to the Royal Observer Corps, and Air Commodore Vass, commandant at the time, presents the Silver Victor to C Cluster of the Watford Group. Leaving the victorious team to examine the trophy, let's have a look at the real thing, starting with its silhouettes. Although the Victor fuselage is deep and double curved, the head-on view is characterized by the unusual shape of the flying surfaces. The wing, with its thick roots, presents an unusual appearance because of the varying degree of droop. In actual fact, the center section has anhedral, the middle panels are flat, and the large outer panels again have anhedral. This unusual picture is capped by a dihedral tailplane set at the very top of an extremely tall fin and rudder. The long fuselage has a pointed nose and a long tapered tail. But the wings provide the main recognition clue in the plan view. They are of large area with their broad chord roots and duo-curved tips. With their sweep back and broken taper, they present a characteristically crescent shape. The tailplane is of extremely narrow chord with a marked break in the taper of the leading edge. In spite of the large bulge forward, the side view of the fuselage presents a clean appearance with its pointed nose and pointed tail. The fin and rudder is tall and swept and has a curved but broken fairing. Even in this view, the tailplane dihedral is evident. This is the prototype Victor. Production models will have modifications in the tail unit, but this won't alter the character of the long fuselage, cylindrical along the greater part of its length, tapering late and rather suddenly to a point beneath the tail unit. From slightly above, the tailplane takes shape, a good clue from most angles. Its pinched flyaway formation repeats the crescent shape of the main plane. Study the details of this crescent or scimitar wing, a sharp, broken sweepback tapering to blunt tips. Buried engines thicken the wing roots. This thickness, together with the unusual broken taper, should be a useful guide except when the aircraft in beam view recedes into the distance. Then you'll have to rely on the pointed nose with forward heaviness and the high tail unit fairing into the fuselage. Head-on, the tailplane dominates again, this time by the flyaway appearance, its marked dihedral in contrast to the wing flatness. A good detail to notice is the unusual position of the air brakes, right at the rear of the fuselage. Closer, remember once again the thick roots, giving a drooping appearance to the wing. On the ground, we can examine 1 or 2 points in detail. The tail unit fairing, the pointed, sharp nose, a clue from several angles, and thick intakes, the swept tailplane with its marked dihedral. Spotting the Victor should never be very much trouble. An aircraft of definite character, its changing angles offer plenty of keys to its identity. Watch for the outstanding ones in these low-level runs over the airfield. Memorize the details that build up that overall smooth, narrow, pointed impression. Landing the Victor is particularly simple. The Secretary of the United States Air Force found it as easy to handle, he said, as a baby carriage. And the firm's test pilot has demonstrated their claim that you can land the Victor with no hands on the controls. Wing loading is such that it levels itself out on landing. The 80th Handley Page design completes another test flight. A product of the firm that pioneered the 4-engine bomber in Britain, the Victor should prove worthy of its ancestry.